time to start with day 2 of the World Championship of RLCS Season 4. It's a best of 5 between Ghost and Gale Force eSports. The commentary, Wave Punk and Final Carpet. Take it away, guys.
Day 1 in the books, Elimination Saturday inbound. We start today in the upper bracket with the European All-Stars versus the North American Wildcards, and the last hope of the North on the winner's side. Ghosts going up against Gale Force. You heard it, the battle of the G logos there. How are you feeling about this one, Carpet?
Today I'm just here to enjoy it. Yesterday you feel a bit of pressure. It's day number 1, but today I'm just here to watch teams give it their all. Because if there's ever a day to do it, it's going to be on Elimination Day.
Absolutely, and we have some fantastic dynamite players on this pitch. Turbo Pulsa, one of 2 players here who could possibly win his 2nd world title. He's on the stage today to try and play for that. And on the other side, Ghosts, a team of just, you heard them, they came together at the last moment there. They go and find Zane Jackie when things kind of fell apart right before the season. And here they are. They've told us to stop doubting them, and at this point, they've convinced half the decks. They still got Axel Toss and Gibbs to work on, but we'll see how this goes as we get into our first match of day 2, GFE, Gale Force eSports, up against the North American Hopes Ghost in the best of 5.
Things to look for, watch Ghost Classics always comes out of the gate immediately and helps bring his team into those late game series, almost getting his first shot of this game.
You were nearly so prophetic there. He had just been able to sneak it around the post. Ghost starting off with explosive offense. We call them the wild card because we didn't expect them to be here, but their play style is just so crazy too. Can they get the defense? Classics with the monster save on the goal line. Gets it away. He started nearly scoring and now defending as well, keeping us scoreless here.
Gale Force looking for the short passes that we've seen. Lawler spoke about it on the desk. They're always looking for each other, even in the corners, trying to pop it out to mid as opposed to using the backboard.
Jackie in midfield, the one roll looking to bump Turbo. Now Lethamir of his own box to play into the corner, and Classics to follow. K-Dop wins the 50-50, back in the box, Turbo pulses up, tries to drop it down. They can possibly finish this off still, but K-Dop will play to the far corner, keep the offense going, but no more shots for now.
He's still effectively keeping it away from defenders, and weak touches will give a pass to Violent Panda.
Classics again, and this time Zane Jackie with the clear. Turbo takes another shot towards net, and Classics with a 3rd one to send it away. He only gets a clear for that, but he's got a savior medal in my book.
Almost no boost. Only one player has 28 right now for Ghost. The other 2 have nothing. It's just a matter of time before Gale Force can force this through.
What a high-octane game already. Gale Force is putting on the pressure. Nobody at home in net. Violent Panda will finally find a way through. Gale Force strikes first.
The boost starving proved to be just a bit too much early on here against this Ghost squad. We see Classic trying to get some in the corner. He had no choice. It was getting to a point where they just weren't able to contest any more of these balls. They needed boost, but by then, Gale Force found the place.
Well, because of the boost start, he moves into the corner for boost instead of sitting in net, which would have been an easy block, but feeling that need to be able to move around. He moves into the corner, and Violent Panda able to strike. 3:25 left on the clock. Gale Force with the lead. Turbo pulls into the corner, following it along. Pass out to Violent, puts it behind 1. Classics in the air in the corner. K-Dop able to put it into the box. Jackie with the follow in the air. Ball remaining at midfield. Classics demolished. K-Dop with a shot, and Lethamir with the save. Defensive Ghost. That's what we talk about all that often, but it's been dynamite so far today. But the pressure that Gale Force is putting on has them in the lead.
And again, look at that short pass in their own half. Already getting into midfield and contesting it, but K-Dop with a whip. This could be something for Ghost.
Lethamir with a nice pitch in the middle, and Zane Jackie's up, drops it down, and hits it underneath. Tie game.
No hesitation on this shot. Just watch how fast Zane Jackie gets up for this. He has quite an angle off the roof as well. Unbelievable he was able to make that into the crossbar, keeping this game tied.
Get that one in right here around halftime, approaching halftime for game number 1. See how Gale Force responds. Having the lead taken away. Here up. And the 1, the pinch over the top. Bounce off the corner. And now, cross midfield. What a play over the top of 2, and the teamwork with Turbo Pulsa nearly finding the goal, but hits the crossbar. Zane Jackie eliminates K-Dop with a nice soft touch. Ooh, nearly gets the ball all the way back down the field, but we'll stay tied up as we cross halftime. Classics back down. Classics the only player on the pitch playing Indominus, playing something other than Octane. Goes off to the long cars. pinch shot towards the net. Turbo Pulsar with a clear away. Violent Panda off the wall. He's got K-Dop to work with. Lethamir tries to make the save, but it's not going to happen. Violent Panda doing work for Gale Force.
This starts off with a touch on defense. Violent Panda just waiting patiently all the way out. Following this through, noticing Lethamir coming from the outside of net as opposed to the inside. So just keeps his car there to make sure he can push that through, and they'll take the lead.
And put it away. They've got their lead back. Ghost was able to tie it up, but they have yet to lead here in game number 1. Turbo pulls over the top off the kickoff. Lethamir back out to midfield. Aggressive positioning from Gale Force. All 3 players in the orange half. Shot goes into the corner. Turbo rotating back, allowing Violent Panda to buy them time in the midfield, and now moving up just 1 player. Quick advance. Gale Force, but Classics in the back line. Able to send it away. Back towards the box, Lethamir out of the midfield. Classics with the redirect. Turbo to K-Dop. Back forward, back down to Turbo. Shot opportunity for Violent Panda. Goes high, St. Jackie to pinch it above. Approaching the final minute. Ghosts, they found a way to score once. They're going to have to do it at least 2 more times. They want to get a win here in game number 1. Turbo pulls up pressuring on the backboard of Ghosts.
Oh, what a touch all the way towards the middle, but it's a tight angle for K-Dop. Statistically right now, 11 shots for Gale Force and only 3 for Ghosts. So right now, it's looking promising for Gale Force to keep this lead.
Holding on to ball control, keeping this ball in the orange so much. K-Dop pitches that over the top of 1, waits out Classics, but he's able to make contact, put it onto the wall. Turbo pulls it back into the middle, and Lethamir put it out to midfield, transitioning on the far side of the field here. K-Dop up to Turbo, pulls the shot towards net as wide. Final 30 seconds. Classics out, St. Jackie up, over the top of 1. Ball is wide, and Turbo Pulsa will be the first player to it. Classics pinches this down, tries to dive bomb it. Violent Panda gets it over the side. 14 seconds left, still down by 1. Classics looking just to loft it above the goal. St. Jackie's up, and he's got the read on Violent Panda. It drops back down, and K-Dop makes the save, but Classics back into the box. He gets cleared away by Turbo. We'll try to hold on to this one, just make it touch the ground, and it will. Gale Force in 1 game here, taking the lead.
Almost that final drive, but something to look forward to for Ghost that Lethamir really likes to bring it out in the later games in the series. When the pressure's on, he always plays his game. You see Classics really trying to open up strong, but Gale Force had so much control of that. Constantly in the half of Ghost, you can just tell by the shot differential there. Gale Force totally in control of that match.
Absolutely, the 11-4 here. Ghost struggling to get the ball and maintain control in the blue half in Gale Force's end of the field. That's what gives Gale Force just significantly more ball controllers, able to keep the ball over it in the orange the whole time. So Ghost needing to find a way to keep that ball away and maybe go for more 50-50s, be a little bit more aggressive in the midfield. There's that midfield rotation between Gale Force is very strong.
And it's not just that, but even when they're on defense, they're always looking for each other. Their defensive touches end up just being a pass into offense. They're never sitting and waiting and trying to play that slow passive game. They're always looking for the next step to get it into their opponent's half. And then that pressure ends up doing what we saw with the first goal, where eventually only 1 player from Ghost had boost and he only had 18. But Classics forced out a net just to get boost, because at that point, it's just a ticking time bomb. You don't want to get scored on, but he got caught out. So Gale Force are able to do that so quickly. Now Ghost plays a tad bit off meta, which is usually why a lot of teams struggle with them, but you know, it's kind of on them right now to figure out what to do to slow down Gale Force.
Well, it's interesting because Classic's decision there to move out was the difference between winning and being tied at this point. Was the 1 goal difference, but his plays in net were also what kept that from being a blowout in Gale Force's favor, getting himself a savior medal. 6 saves across the board there for Ghost. So they were able to get game number 1 finished and just put away. At this point, Gale Force takes it, and Ghost will look to respond here in game number 2 to move on the Banfield. Violent Panda in the middle, get out with a pass back. Intercepted by Zane. Classics up. Loft upwards, Violent Panda back in the middle. No teammates following along. Lethamir will pick it up by himself. It's just the waterfall downwards, puts it into the box, but K-Dop's got the clear. No immediate pressure from the rest of Ghost. K-Dop will beat Violent Panda. Shot towards net. It's a bit high. But a quick, explosive offensive play down the field from Gale Force.
Gale Force, no matter how much offensive pressure they have, they never overcommit. You'll rarely see more than 2 people going up for an opportunity.
St. Jackie came in to try and finish it off, but K-Dop beat him there. Now the pass play. K-Dop makes the shot and finds the goal. 1-0 Gale Force.
And there it is. Even with all 3 players in Ghost half, Gale Force still poised and ready. Turbo Pulsar turning around, getting ready for this Violent Panda has two options at this point, left and right. They almost have set pieces getting ready for these shots. And 4:11 left, 1 goal up for Gale Force.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful positioning, and the goalie's being off on the sides, looking for that boost again. Gonna leave it open. K-Dop shot placement is perfect. Up in the corner. Ceiling transition all the way towards the net. Lethinger will be able to send it to the side, but that sort of pressure from Gale Force is going to force Ghost to leave a player farther back to defend these long shots. That means that they're going to be weaker up on the offense. Ball going to wrap around from the corner. Turbo Pulsa and Violent Panda airborne, but Lethinger gets the save, sends it away. Now Classics with ball control. Taking this slowly, just trying to hold on to it, but still manages to lose it. K-Dop comes in and pressures. Zane Jackie underneath Turbo. Picks up some boost and spawns right in front of him. 4-2 at this point. Pass 2, K-Dop will get the loft. Zane Jackie up. Ball making its way slowly towards the box, finally sent away by Turbo. 3:23 left to go, and it's 1-0 Gale Force.
I feel like Ghost might be just a tad bit too patient right now, and Gale Force will just not let off the pedal, constantly coming at every ball as fast as they can. So every time you see Ghost try and dribble it and let their team catch up, they never have the time.
Beautiful 50-50. Now Zane keeping this one on the ground. You're up into the corner. He gets past Violent Panda. Classics is up, but Turbo's there first. Gets that one out. Violent Panda will continue it on towards the net. Zane winning the 50-50 on the goal line to send it away. This is the second touch in the air, though. Classics will play this one out and away from his net, but it's straight to K-Dop. Coming from the side. Keep that ball at midfield. Midfield pressure is something that Classics and company kind of need at this point, but again, there were those long shots earlier. Sort of threats keeping a player glued in the back right now. It's Classics having a great defensive series so far. Zane Jackie on the backboard, nobody's there. Lethinger net looking for goalie. Zane over the top of one, and it's Violent Panda keeps it on the ground. Classics able to get a bit of a 50-50 with him and send it over to the side, buy some time, but still a dangerous situation for Ghosts. Gale Force is still coming up. K-Dop into the corner. One step ahead, dropped in front of the net. Violent Panda to finish it off. Gale Force on fire right now.
Eventually, the turnaround proved to be just too much, and they have 6 shots right now for Gale Force and only 3 for Ghost. You can tell they really just have so much control every time Ghost tries to clear it out. They're looking for a pass for a teammate on the opposite side of the field. Gale Force is always 1 step ahead.
Cross halftime, Gale Force has had all the leads this series. Ghost managed to score last game, but it was just a tying score. Never been able to get the lead here. The European All-Stars, and with it being a best of 5, this game important for Ghost. You do not want to be down 2-0. Gale Force, you heard them talking about it in the Northern Arena. It was a sweep for Ghost. We've already changed that up, and now Turbo with an open net. He'll just put it softly. Lethinger is able to play it off his own post and get it away. Now Classics looking to get it out, but the pinch goes back towards the box. Lethinger's got to play it again. Violent Panda with the pressure. Gale Force looking to make a 3rd goal to clinch this game 2. Up over the top, Zane Jackie follows in the air, drop down, allow Classics to move up. Soars back towards the box. Lethinger again back up, off the ceiling. Fast Violent Panda. Classics moving in. 50-50s. Remain decently neutral. But needing a breakaway right now is Ghost. They don't want the neutral 50-50s, and basically that is a win for Gale Force.
Lethinger in an interview spoke on that players are so good at defense on the backboard, they can nearly clear the whole field every single touch. Right now, they're suffering from that. Gale Force constantly clearing every single push that Ghosts have across the field.
Lethinger 1-50-50 and gets it past another. Finally, the ball's going to make its way into the blue without pace, then immediately will get it cleared again. The 1-50-50 by Classics in the final minute here. They need this goal now so they have time for the equalizer. Down by 2. Can't play in the 0-second time. Clock is ticking for Ghost. Back up above the box. Turbo Pulsa trying to go up and inside down. Gets the shot. A beautiful placement. 3-0 Gale Force.
I mean, Gale Force is just playing so clean right now. I haven't seen a single mistake or hiccup just from the plays that they've been pulling off. Turbo Pulsa with a monstrous shot above one defender and underneath another. 3 goals up for them with only 38 seconds left. It's looking like Gale Force have this in the bag.
The pace from Gale Force right now, you saw the only difference in that particular play was the fact that Turbo had the read before any of the Ghost defenders did. They were moving up, they were trying to get there, but he was there so much more quickly. He's able to get the shot in without any immediate pressure. Now 25 seconds left, up by 3. Gale Force looking to secure game number 2 with a 4th goal here from Turbo. And at this point, Ghost needs to start thinking about game 3 and what they need to change.
I mean, Gale Force just look like robots at this point. I have not seen a hole that Ghost can find an opportunity to try and take advantage of, and that's what's proving so difficult for them. I think at this point you might need to I guess not resort, but try and get a couple more bumps and demolitions, just to see if you can slow them down and you know, find a kink in their armor.
I mean, is there anything, when you see Violent Panda getting demolished by Lethamyr, already kind of going for that a bit. This is the thing that characterized Ghost to some degree during League play. They were a team that was extremely physical. They were a team that pioneered the whole demo meta, going for goalies and making that a very mainstream tactic the players could use. At this point, they need to start going for that again because Gale Force now 2 games up, 1 more win, and they will stay alive in the upper bracket.
Right now we're looking at Turbo trying to live into his own words, saying that he would crush Ghost, but right now it is 2-0, and this game really did not look good for Ghost. They were just never able to play their game. Gale Force seriously, again, had full control of this. Just look at that, only 3 shots allowed for Ghost, and I don't remember any of those really being threatening at all. Always a defender there at Gale Force. Even though their rotations are so wide, they're almost going all the way back to their own corner for boost, even when they're on offense. It doesn't matter. They're still so fast to get back on the offense that Ghost can't find the hole to try and clear the ball.
On Classics, only with 75 points there, a donut shop in the stats department. Just struggling to find control, struggling to get any sort of contact on the ball at all, much less ones that give him statistics like saves and shots. At this point, 3 shots in game number 2, 4 shots in game number 1. Gale Force got more shots than both of Ghost's last 2 games combined just in game number 1. So Ghost really needing to find a new way, and I think, as we talked about just a moment ago, their demolition style, their physical style of play of going up and bumping Gale Force, do not allow them to rotate the way they want to, might be the solution.
I mean, you heard Lethamyr talking about it in his interview. They have Classics to go up and kind of be their aggressor. He's the one that makes the bumps, just gets in the way of everything. He was a bully for the longest time. He was just there every chance he got, tried to be the most annoying player possible. And then he said that him and Zanejackie just figure out who's going to fit best in that next role, who's number 2, who's number 3, and they adapt as the game goes, which I think works in their favor. But if Classics never has that chance to even cross the midfield line, and they're too busy playing defense and too busy trying to figure out how to get their next beat pad, they're never going to be able to play the game they're comfortable with.
Well, on the mental side of things as well, Ghost, a team that operates off of good energy, getting that first win, if they have been able to win in game number 1, we might have a very different series on our hands right now, but they're having to play from behind, and they're not feeling like, oh, we're playing great. We just got beat 4-0, got completely shut out by Gale Force in game 2, so their work is cut out for them here as we move into game 3. A win here for Gale Force would sweep Ghosts. They do not want that. Violent Panda over into the corner. Violent Panda to get a shot. Does it go off the post and back into the box? Lethamyr's there. It doesn't matter. Turbo Pulses comes flying in, and Gale Force, a 3rd game in a row, will score.
I'm pretty sure the last 7 touches were all Gale Force. Turbo popping that all the way back to Violent Panda, who just one touch after the other was able to push that towards the net. Someone from Ghost probably should have been there to 50-50 one of those. I think he got confused as to the momentum of the ball, but either way, 4:30 left and Gale Force already have their first goal.
Yeah, Ghost a little bit confused there on the defense, though, with the ball being as slow as it was in front of the goal. There's that many bodies, it's usually pretty easy to find a block somewhere, but Turbo Pulsa finds a way through. Now Gale Force playing with the lead again. The team early on that was characterized by substantial defense. They've only allowed 1 goal so far this series. They'll look to keep it that way. Violent Panda towards the goal, looking for K-Dop. Sent away by Classics. Turbo Pulse into the corner. Zanejackie, top Turbo Pulse back down to Violent Panda. Finds him, connects on the infield pass. 2-0 Gale Force.
Right now, you can just see the difference in even defensive plays. Zanejackie being forced to make big touches. It's just off the wall. So hard for him to take that carry off the backboard. And the beautiful pass down from the corner, straight into his teammate Turbo Pulsar, really finding that well.
An absolute masterclass on the infield pass. Violent Panda up early, knowing what that was going to be. His teammate finding it well. Classics now. Can they get the goal? Lethamyr to try and send the shot on target, but K-Dop sends it away. Pressure from Ghost, getting up and in the box of Gale Force. At this point, they've been defending these long shots, and it's good for them because they need to, because they're being put on target, but at some point, maybe just commit all 3, just go all out on the offense at this point. Because nothing's changed in these 3 games here for Ghosts.
I mean, just watch the stark difference in the first defensive touch from each team. Gale Force is always just canning it all the way across the field, either into a teammate's hands or just straight into the backboard of their opponent. And Ghosts are trying to slow it down, but sometimes those passes are too short. And then you have this where they give up possession straight back into Violent Panda because they're still trying to reset from all the shots they just had to deal with.
Violent Panda getting a demolition onto Zanejackie. K-Dop's up. Both the Classics will miss with Turbo Pulse into the box, and Lethamyr wins out the touch. He'll put it into the blue. With a win over Violent Panda here, you can really create an opportunity, but Violent Panda taking it away. That 50-50 game has been significantly in Gale Force's favor this entire series. That's been a huge difference maker. So Lethamyr puts another shot on target. Violent Panda to send it away. Turbo Pulse with the clear. Here up and into the corner. Bounce back favorably for Ghosts. One player off on the side, the other one back on defense. No one's there to keep this offense going. We're approaching halftime. It's still 2-0 Gale Force, and they've got Ghost on match point. Panda with the lob, Kate out, looks to send it back to him. Intercepted by Zaintek, onto the backboard. Lethmir's up, and he goes for the goalie as well. There's the physical play we want from Ghosts, and they are on the board.
There it is, the demolition play will let them get their first goal this game. An unanswered touch off the backboard, which is very uncharacteristic for Gale Force. And the moment that happened, the moment Ghosts realized, hey, we found it. We found the chink in their armor. They just took full advantage. Someone went straight to the goalie. Let's just take them all out, and now it's only a one-goal game.
3 players getting involved in that play. Ghost trying to stay alive here in the upper bracket, needing this win and then 2 more. Violent Panda to K-Dop, the team synergy. So deadly right now on this pitch. As Turbo Pulsar will find it off the backboard. Classics gets the save on the goal line. He was definitely anticipating his teammate on the backboard to get that clear, so bailing him out there and then keeping this at a 1-goal game. Critical score margin for Ghost right now. Drops it back down, Violent Panda onto the wall. Classics airborne, and they'll send it back away. Over to Lethmir. Zaintek into midfield. Lethmir, 2 50-50s run. Zaintek onto the backboard. Violent Panda's up, and Classics comes in, nearly able to tie the game here, but Violent Panda's defense holds on. They'll look to send it back down the pitch.
Hope they didn't put all their eggs in that basket, but they might have. The demolition on the K-Dop. They still allowed that shot to come through.
Lethmir over the top of 2. Zaintek comes down on top of Violent Panda, but he gets it out and away. Classics now into pressure from Ghost, starting to build as they look to tie up this game. Shot above the crossbar. K-Dop with the clear, but it should give it to Ghost. Zaintek will pop it over 1. Now with the follow, looking for the soft touch. Violent Panda has the read. He'll put it back to midfield. The final minute of Game 3 approaching. Gale Force holding on to the lead in the series and the game. Shot is a bit wide, but K-Dop can finish this off. No! Lethmir shuts the door. Zaintek now to follow it out, and they've got some momentum coming into this final minute.
Turbo trying to retreat. He's low on boost, but it looks like, again, they lose possession. Ghost clearing it out to Gale Force and letting them keep control.
Save your middle for Zaintek. 47 seconds remaining. Violent Panda will fly past the ball. K-Dop picks it up. Into the box. It's over towards Turbo Pulsar. Can he get it through? No, it bounces wide of the net. Zaintek now with the flick. The top, Lethmir picks it up, gets a pass. K-Dop, creative passing from Ghost. And it's moving it down the field, pass 2. Just Turbo in the back as he gets the clear. Final 30 seconds. Ghost need this time to stay alive in the upper bracket. They need this win, trying to drop it through. Right now, they just got to play for the tie. Only 19 seconds left for Gale Force to hold on. Secure this first victory on day 2. Drops down, Turbo Pulsar over the top of 1. Final 10 seconds. Lethmir gets demolished. This could be the end as Violent Panda puts it up high. K-Dop looking to secure. Classic gets it away, but Turbo Pulsar over. It's just on the goal line. 1 second left. They have to keep it in the air the whole time. And there's Violent Panda down and over the top of the front line of Ghosts. Gale Force with the sweep.
Opening the day unbelievably strong. If you go back and watch that replay, I don't know a single touch that Gale Force had that didn't have a purpose and wasn't almost perfect in what they were intending. Every single touch on defense was nearly a hard clear or straight into any of their teammates. Ghost Gaming really had a hard time trying to shut that down and stifle it out. Gale Force had control of so much of the boost. They really took away with this series.
Yeah, Classics, he had a rough game number 2 here, but game 3 again showing up, getting 4 saves, trying to be that defensive backbone, and then trying to break out on the offense as well, but they struggled so much in the offensive category here. And again, I think it was just the aggressiveness, the touch battles, the 50-50s going so much in Gale Force's favor. They're able to get the sweep. Celebrations there from the European All-Stars as they stay alive in the upper bracket.
I mean, you can see the difference when you have control. Gale Force, every time they're on offense, they gave themselves so many options, right? Even if somebody was just there retreating kind of in the way, a defender has to think like, okay, are they going to bump me? Are they going to redirect it and pass it to this guy? Are they going to take a shot over on the other side of the net? You have to think of so many more options. But that's because they had control. They were able to do that. They could take their time retreating. They could take their time and mess with their head and act like they're going for a bump. But on the other side, Ghost, they just had to take 1 or 2 shots and then retreat because they were never able to take their time to retreat because they didn't have that midfield control. They weren't able to push it through. The 1 goal they did get in that final game, it was a beautiful, they took advantage of the situation. Once they realized no one was on that backboard, they're like, now's our chance.
Well, you talked about, the midfield control. Midfield control is a big part of what enables you to be able to move up and play that demo-heavy game that Ghost likes. If you're able to control the midfield boost, that means you can be more aggressive and spend the extra time going into goal to find the goalies. The 1 goal we saw them score here in Game 3 was off that demolition. They need to be able to do that more. Gale Force was shutting it down, but this time it's going to be Gale Force with the win. And I hear Violent Panda's on the stage. I want to hear what he's got to say.
Thank you so much, gentlemen. Guys, give it up for Gale Force Esports. What a display of dominance from this team. Now, while you are dominant here at RLCS Season 4 Finals, you guys have had kind of a turbulent summer. You came second a couple times, and looking into this event and going forward into this event, what were the adjustments that you had to make as a team in order for you to be successful this time around?
Getting second like 4 times in a row sucks, but just playing well, have fun together, just work together great. We had some downtimes also with the last tournament in Atlanta and such, but just work together well, try to fix your stuff. It worked.
Now, actually, just a sidebar on that, communication between you guys, because I understand you're all 3 from like different regions in Europe. Is it all just English comms the entire time? And because I know K-Dop's French, I believe.
Yeah, he's French, but yeah, we just talk English. Just try as much as possible, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I just always find it to be interesting, right? Because different backgrounds having to come together, right, to play and become potentially champions. Very interesting stuff. And speaking of, on the other side, players vying to become champions, you have PSG versus Method coming up next. And what team would you rather face? Is there one that you look at and you're like, oh, that'll be a walk in the park. Let's face them. Do you feel like it's going to be easy?
It's not going to be easy against those 2. I'd rather play Method because they're great friends of us. PSG is going to be a little hard because they're unpredictable. Especially Bluey, if he's on fire, is pretty unpredictable. Method's like, we play good against Method, so I hope we play Method.
Okay, and then final thoughts here. This team seems like a well-oiled machine. You guys are just so dominant, and everything that you're doing seems to be clicking. Coming into this match, what did you feel like were going to be the weaknesses of Ghost that you can exploit going into this game?
To be honest, we didn't look at Ghost too much, because we thought we would beat them already. But, so yeah, we're just looking for the finals now.
I mean, it's not technically shade if they win 3-0, just saying. You guys are incredible. You're a dominant team, and everyone should cheer for the skill that Gale Force Esports displays. Guys, give it up for these fine gentlemen. Let's go ahead and send it over to the desk to break down that game. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you, Golden Boy, and excellent to hear from Violent Panda. This team looks so strong right now. I wasn't expecting it to be a 3-0 dominant sweep there from Gale Force, and now they're pushing themselves into the winner bracket final. Again, playing the winner of Method and PSG. Let's recap that one in the form of the Mobile One High Performance replay as Gale Force Esports, a 3-0 sweep over Ghost.
This was just pure domination. We saw Ghost 12 shots in 3 games. And Gale Force, they almost averaged 12 shots a game. They just absolutely dominated all of the pressure. And this is what I was talking about. But Gale Force, not a high shooting percentage team. They shot under 25%. But that doesn't matter when you put up 34 shots in 3 games.
Yeah, and out of the 12 shots, they only put 2 in the net. And I'm talking about Ghost. Their offense was struggling. And it seemed like Classics was not in their face. Leftemir in his interview talked about how Classics is in their face, and Zane, Jackie, and Left are the ones who are trying to clean up. But Classics, I think it was just the fact that Gale Force was too fast. They were outpacing Ghost at every step, and some of the passes that VP was making was absolutely insane. The more I see him play, the more I think VP is the best.
It was just too little too late. You saw Zane Jackie towards the end of that last game really getting involved and starting to create that offensive pressure, but the first 2 matches, there was just nothing. They couldn't get out of their own end, and that was the difference between this Gale Force team and Mach-It. Mach-It gave them a lot of space. They gave them the opportunities to dribble the field. Gale Force shut that down. They were super aggressive, and it paid off.
And that was the main difference here. Like, Classics couldn't get in their face because he had no boost most of the time, because Gale Force, they held that mid-boost control so well, and that's why Ghost beat Mach-It. They were the ones controlling the boost.
Right.
So if you have no boost, then you can't get in their face, and it was a real struggle, but it's just because Gale Force, they're so fast at every ball, and every touch is so good.
Yeah, Sizz talked about how Classics would be the one to turn and go and attack the ball. Well, it looked like K-Dop was way better at that. He's so fast and so good. And then Gale Force, the top defense in league play for Europe, they showed it here against Ghost.
I mean, we can't mention that boost deny enough. I mean, there was multiple times. I mean, even that first goal, Classics is just like, I have to get boost. There's no other way we're going to get out of this situation, and it leads to an open net. So it just shows how prevalent that
that offense is and what they can really do to you.
We talk about chemistry a lot as well, and we know the history that K-Dop and Violent Panda have had in the 2v2 scene. But at the very least, I feel like Gale Force eSports at the top of Rocket League right now. It's really hard to argue against that. So if there's a match to go back and watch, maybe go back and watch that one. If you're trying to improve your play at home, I would almost suggest, because Gale Force is playing some amazing Rocket League.
Well, in Bluey's interview, he said, I want to play Gale Force eSports. Ooh. And after seeing that series, Bluey, be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, they look unstoppable. They really do. It's pretty reminiscent of watching Turbo last season. It's scary. Look out.
Well, the stage is certainly set as Gale Force advances to the winner bracket final. They're going to play the winner of PSG versus Method, and guess what? It's coming up next. You're watching Day 2 of the Rocket League Championship Series Season 4 World Championship. Coming up next, we got PSG against Method, another best of 5 to see who moves on to play against Gale Force in the winner bracket final.